At the start of the movie, it is shown that parasites, a mysterious type of alien, are making their way to the city from the sea. Then a sleeping man is in his room. One of the parasites crawls into his ear. Despite feeling irritated, the man goes back to sleep to calm himself. Shinichi, a young boy, appears on the scene. He is listening to music at night and wearing headphones. The parasite tries to enter his ear but it is unable to. Shinichi feels an itching sensation and assumes it's an insect when it moves to his nose. He tries to throw it away but ends up crushing it as he tries to pick it up. Then that parasite comes onto his hand's skin after cutting it. His mother also arrives at the same time. He exclaims, "Look. My hand has become infected." His hand has no trouble when his mother checks it. The next morning, it is shown that Shinichi feels some irritation in his hand when he is at the dining table. Then a man is shown whose ear was infested. He stands in front of his wife. He opens his monstrous mouth, which is too horrific. And he covers his wife's face with his huge mouth. And it was happening due to that parasite. Then Shinichi comes on the scene and meets his friend on the way going to the school. She observes his mysterious actions. When he reached school, then something unusual was happening to him. As his right hand got much strength. Coming to his house, he tries to bruise his hand. But his hand mysteriously defends itself while stopping him. Then it is shown that his hand has transformed into a parasite. And it was communicating with Shinichi. Further, it is shown that it not only used to read Shinichi's books but also used his laptop. Because it was interested in human beings' ways of living. Shinichi had stopped it to go ahead when it tried to enter his body. So it had only infected the right hand and was handling this hand. It declares its name Migi. And it requests, "Never cut me off. I will not harm you because you are my entertainer." It appears now that Shinichi and Migi are creating a friendship bond. However, all those infected by parasites were causing chaos across the city. They were quenching their appetite after killing human beings. Contrarily, Migi drags Shinichi to a hotel where many parasites are eating the flesh of human beings. They misunderstand as Shinichi is also infected, so offer the flesh. But they decapitate his head even though he is still human and not completely infected. But Migi defends Shinichi, attacking them. Because it could also die with the death of Shinichi. So he had acted for himself. News is broadcast that natives are being killed. And no one can know about the killer. Because parasites were carrying it out tactfully and covertly. Shinichi says to Migi, "Why do you not restrict your companion's parasites to not eat human beings?" Then Migi replies, "You also eat vegetables and other types of animals. In the same way our food is human beings. So what is wrong with it?" Migi used to sense the type of parasite in its surroundings. Going to school, it tells Shinichi that there is another parasite near you. It was not anything else but his teacher. Witnessing Shinichi, that teacher knows that he is infected. But she says that there is no need to be afraid of me. Because I don't want to harm human beings. Rather, I am knowing the human beings' ways of life so their attributes may always remain in me. It leads him to two more parasites, including a police officer and a student. It says, "This police officer is my spouse and we are expecting a baby. And that baby will be a human being. And we also want to lead our life like humans. We will not put anyone to death in public because it is unharmful. But we want to eat in private. Will you be a part of our group?" But Migi disagrees. The next day the same police officer comes to them. Then Migi reveals Shinichi he has come to kill us. Because he had detected that we ended up a parasite in a hotel on that day. Meanwhile, a police officer attacks him. Migi and Shinichi fight with him. At last he kills him. Coming into the house, Shinichi was feeling guilty as he had taken a life. Contrarily, it is shown that the parasite moves to another human's body, coming out from a police officer's body. It was not anyone else but Shinichi's mother. And she was proceeding to Shinichi to kill him. Migi exposes to Shinichi she intends to kill you. Shinichi says to it, "Be careful. If you say something about my mother." Because he had a cordial association with his mother. He never wanted to lose his mother. At first sight, his mother's face also transforms into a parasite like other parasites. And she attacks Shinichi. He is nearly to die because of his waste of blood. The next morning it is shown that he has restored himself. Migi says, "You were badly injured but I cured your wound with my cells." But the threatening thing was this, as Migi's cells had transferred into Shinichi. He was under an infection completely. Now Shinichi begins to search for his mother. But he finds her nowhere. Then he asks about the police officer going to the teacher. But the teacher does also not reveal anything. Migi tells him, I will have to sleep 4 hours in a day. At that time you will have to fight alone because I will not protect you. Having Migi's cells, the attributes of Migi had started to appear. Now it is seen that a student has transformed into a parasite. The student who was shown by the teacher. He was admitted to the school of Shinichi. He pretends to be the friend of Shinichi. With time, the reality is exposed to everyone as he is a parasite. The student then murders everybody. He then proceeds to kill Shinichi's buddy. But Shinichi jumps off the building taking his friend. That teacher approaches there who wants the death of that student. Because her secret may be revealed by that student. She explodes the bomb there but remains safe. Police approach there but that student also ends the police. Migi tells Shinichi that the student is on the building roof. Going to another building's roof kills him while shooting an arrow. Then he returns to the teacher and asks for the address of the police officer who was a parasite. A teacher tells him the location. The parasite of that police officer was still in his mother. But it is the best time for Migi. It means Shinichi had to fight alone here. Somehow he cuts the throat of that parasite to end it. His mother and police officer are ended later. Then Shinichi is shown visiting the hospital to meet his friend. He is uttering that I will kill all parasites one by one. Then it is shown that someone is taking their photos. And he was a spy. The movie part 1 is completed here. Wait for part 2 of this interesting series. Thanks for watching.